What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It's your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Guys, if you're into nerd culture, if you're into video games, you've come to the right place. We talk about all of that shit here. Today, we have a pretty dope show. I want to talk about some things that I got to do this weekend, guys, and one of those things pretty much stopped me from doing everything else. I'm just keeping it real with you guys, man. Monster Hunter Rise, it is a fucking masterpiece. I'm going to talk about it. I have 60 plus hours in it now. I can't wait to finish recording and jump back in there. I'm trying to sell it to anybody who will listen, and I will explain all of it very, very soon. But I want to talk about a little bit of some news. I'm going to talk a little bit about some Yasuke. I talked a little bit about this last week. Talked about a anime that was coming out about a black samurai. I'm going to get into that, give you guys a little bit of information in case you do not know. I'm also want to talk about eSports Boxing Club. I have an update on that. It's a game I've been following. I'm a big, big boxing fan, but also I love boxing video games, guys. Love them, love them, love them. And I'm going to talk about that. There's a lot of news coming. There was an interview with some of the guys involved in making the game, and I had a lot of questions, and some of those were definitely answered. I cannot wait to jump into that. And then also anime. Did I get a chance to get to watch Attack on Titan? No, and I'm going to tell you why. But definitely this next coming week will be when I start it. I'm not going to say I'm going to finish it or not. I plan to. That is the goal. But, we'll see what goes on. And I'll definitely keep you guys posted. But I also did watch anime. Don't get it twisted. I did watch anime, but it wasn't Attack on Titan. And you'll be probably surprised to find out what it is when you hear it. You may not even know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'll tell you why I went ahead and went with that anime first. And I'll get into that as well later. Also, My Hero Academia, I don't even know how the fuck that got past me, guys. I feel ashamed to call myself an anime fan because I knew the date, but I had so many fucking things on my plate. I guess it just got lost in the shuffle, and it was released right under my fucking nose. The only how I found out about that is I was watching Snowfall, and I went to try to go watch a new episode of that, and then lo and behold, there was a My Hero Academia season 5 episode sitting there, and I was like, what the fuck? And this actually happened last week, but I didn't bring it up on the podcast because it slipped my fucking mind. But I'm bringing it up now, and there's already 2 episodes now available, so I'm excited about that, and I can watch those with no interruptions. You can't watch everything, you can't binge everything. I would love to do that, but there's just some shows you just have to keep that weekly thing going. And there's enough things on my palette, and most of us could probably agree with this. There's so many things out there to watch, guys, that you will forget other things that are coming, no matter how much you love it or how much you anticipate it. It's just combine that with your daily activities through life and the things that you do. Sometimes other things get lost in the shuffle and you forget about shows and things of that nature. But the good thing is, you get to come back around and watch them. There's always something to get. I mean, I had a friend call me the other day, tell me about a show I should check out. Another show, I think this is on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken, about some Nazi killers or some shit like that. These guys hunting Nazis. It's some crazy shit. But just when you think you've seen it all, you find out there's another one here, there's another one there. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm always discovering new shows. I was looking on Hulu today on my phone, of all places, and I found I think I marked like 7, 8, maybe 9 different anime that weren't on my fucking list already, and I thought I pretty much put everything that they had anime wise on there just so it would be there, and I could just go into that pool and just search around and find some shit. But apparently they keep dropping anime, so hey, that's cool too. I don't know. It's just a beautiful time to be in now when it comes to at least having something to watch, trying to lose yourself in things, and escape from all the boo boo in the world. Sometimes it's a beautiful thing to convert to that, but also my favorite pastime, video games. Yes, and anime is right there as well. So please don't get that twisted. But video games came first because Nintendo I was playing before I was watching anime and discovered that. So yeah, but I'm not putting one over the other because I love them both very dearly. I would show you guys my Kakashi statue I just got, but I literally put them together last night or early this morning. Um, and he looks nice, man. Fucking breathtaking. And it's a fucking bootleg of all things. I'm a bootleg god when it comes to a lot of anime collectibles, especially the Naruto stuff, because that stuff is a little bit more scarce, man. All my Dragon Ball shit, if I'm being honest, is all legit. Most of it is. Banpresto is the company I fucking live and die by. I love those guys. Everything they make, they just do it pristine. I don't care how big the statue is or how fucking small. The detail stays the fucking same. I mean, I have to say that. All you small time collectors or collectors in general, you know what I'm talking about. They don't just do Dragon Ball shit, but they're just an excellent company when it comes to statues. Like, you know what I mean? No matter what size it is, they always come with the fucking detail. Pristine, I have to say it. But yeah, now not all my shit is bootleg from Naruto, but majority of it is, and they make good bootlegs, man. There's some good bootlegs out there, guys. I had some old videos on my channel talking about, bootlegs need love too, and I discussed that. And I think I'm gonna do another one with this Kakashi because it deserves the attention. I only paid, believe it or fucking not, 10 fucking bucks for this statue on eBay, and this was a statue that I've been wanting to buy for a long fucking time. I had it. If you go to my all of my, like, I don't know, if you go to eBay, if you go to Amazon, you'll see that I have this statue saved. It's a Kakashi statue. It's the exact same pose and everything. He's holding Zabuza. Why can't I get his fucking name right? I cannot never get his fucking name right. Basically, the ninja with the long fucking sword in the first arc of Naruto, when they did the bridge arc. Zabuza. Okay, goddamn, I don't know what the fuck is up with my mouth right now, but yes, Zabuza. His sword. Kakashi has his sword, and he's in this awesome ninja pose, and it looks fucking dope. And ever since I seen it, I said, man, I have to have that statue. But the shit was like fucking. That was my phone. Sorry, but the shit was fucking hundreds of dollars, man, for that shit. A lot of these Kakashi statues or Naruto statues are like that. I'm actually messing with my phone as I'm recording, so I forgot to turn all the settings off, so I'm doing that shit right now, guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, all I can say is I love the statue. I can't believe it was only 10 bucks. I can't believe that it's a bootleg sometimes when I'm looking at it. Definitely well worth it. I would have easily paid more than that. Anything over 100 though, I was kind of gonna, shy away from. But this right here is definitely a must-have if you're a Kakashi fan. I got it from an American seller too. So usually when you buy this type of stuff, you get them from overseas and you have to wait literally like 2 to 3 weeks to get this shit. I also have a dope ass Rock Lee statue, which I cannot believe is a bootleg either, guys. I will be posting pictures of these on my Instagram soon for you guys to check out. But yeah, a lot of people go that route now. A lot of people are going that route because you get you're a fan of whatever it is that you're a fan of, but you don't want to, break the fucking bank to get this stuff, man. Some of this stuff is just a little bit too fucking OP in price. I'm just saying. I don't even know how the fuck I got on this statue. How did I get to the statue? How did I get on this statue talking about this shit? I don't know. But let me get back to the podcast, the lecture at hand, even though this is considered nerding out, I guess you can call it. That's what I'm doing right now. But that's what we have to talk about. Also, we also have some Godzilla versus King Kong talk. I have a little bit of that. I'm going to brush on that because I just got through watching that movie literally like before I hit this record button. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Not going to go too in detail with it because next week I may have a guest on the show, Dig247, my boy. He's been on the show a couple times before. Wants to come on and talk a little bit about this and My Hero Academia. So by then it'll be 3 episodes of My Hero out currently in season 5. So we can definitely talk a little bit about that. Talk about this movie, Godzilla vs. King Kong, and whatever else happens to transpire between now and then. So that's the plan. I don't know if it'll happen. If he's on here, cool. If not, then I understand. Everybody has obligations and things of that nature, but that's just one thing to talk about. Also, before I get into this podcast, guys, don't forget, especially you newcomers, If you want to know more about me, Studio MacGyver, if you want to help out the podcast or the show, you can easily do that. If you go to studiomacgyver.com, yes, sir, you can get all my handles there, my Instagram, my Twitters, my everything, Facebook pages, even my music you can download. There's a site where you can literally go to my SoundCloud and download free music that I did a Dragon Ball song. Check that shit out, guys. Whatever, check out some of my other projects that I do in my spare time, or that I did in my spare time. All those things, guys, are easily available if you go to my website, www.studiomacgyver.com. You can also get merch there. I got t-shirts, I got hoodies, I got coffee mugs. All of these things would help support the show if you were to buy any of them. Yeah, man, let's make that happen. I think I'm going to try to do some stickers and shit too sooner or later. I'm trying to add some more merch, not just shirts and stuff. People have been asking me, what about stickers? What about, blankets and towels and bags and shit like that? Okay, cool. I'll look into that, and I will add those as well. And then also I was planning on adding other themes, other shirts of related to nerd culture, video games, anime, things of that nature. So I'm looking into that as well, adding those things to the store and trying to give you guys a plethora of things to choose from to help your boy out. Okay, now let's begin the fucking show. And first, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Godzilla vs. King Kong because it's just fresh on my mind. I just got through watching it. What do I think about it? What did I think about it? If I had to give it a grade, my personal self, I would give it a out of 10, 1 to 10, I'm giving it a solid 7. 7 out of 10, definitely worth watching. A lot of people are a little biased, in my opinion, because, there's a lot of King Kong and a lot of Godzilla fans out there. Matter of fact, Dig is one of those guys. He loves it. He watched it twice already. He thought that, well, I'll let him tell you. I'm not going to get into all of that, but it was definitely a solid movie, though. Definitely worth your time. If you have HBO Max and haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But there are people out there who just don't really gravitate toward that type of stuff, the Godzillas and the stuff like that. My girlfriend being one of those, she did not watch the movie with me. She chose not to. She just wasn't feeling it. I got another friend who says he's not really into that. He probably won't watch it either. He's not really into the Godzilla or King Kong type of thing. There's some people that's not, man, but there are a lot that are. So if you have seen it or if you want to see it, definitely check it out. We're going to probably talk about it in depth more. I don't want to give anything away for the people who didn't get to see it just yet because it hasn't been out very long, but I will say it was a decent movie. I will definitely say that. I do have some things that I want to say about it. And I'll save those things for the next week's podcast. And if he doesn't, for whatever reason, end up being on the show, I will break that down for you guys, and it won't take long. You know what I mean? I was definitely going to get into it with him on it and talk about some things, but it's better when you have two people, kind of two different sides, talking about a film or whatever it is, game, anime, whatever. So we'll get into that at a later date. I just wanted to let you know that it did happen. I did watch it and I did enjoy it. So let's move on. What I want to talk about now is another anime. I talked about it last week. I'm talking about Yasuke, however you want to pronounce it. The trailer is out. There's a trailer available, guys. Check it out on YouTube. Also, I told you guys that the poster or one of the promotional posters is out. I have that on my Instagram if you guys didn't check that out, but it's out there. You can find it wherever. But I thought that the shit was dope. I found out that Mappa is working on this one, which is another nice, renowned animation studio out there. Is highly, highly respected, working on this. So I have faith that this is going to be very good. And then I didn't know that a guy by the name of Lakeith, I forgot his fucking last name. He's an actor. He's a musician. He's a lot of different things. Now I find out he's an anime fan, but he's also got his hands in this production of this. And he is actually, I think, acting in some of this as well. So that's crazy. It's amazing to find out that there was supposed to be a movie about this. Now this character is supposed to be actually based on a true story. There was an actual black samurai back in the 1600s that was highly renowned out there in Japan and a skilled warrior in all of these things. And there have been books and stories written about this guy in previous years or whatever. So this guy is a real thing, and now there's finally an anime that is going to let us into that world, man. I cannot wait to see what this is going to be about. I hope it's awesome. From the previews of the trailers, the animations look pretty nice, man. And I cannot wait to see what this is gonna be about. And it's coming out way sooner than I would expect. It's coming out this month, guys, April 29th. Can you believe that shit? Oh man, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good summer for anime, and I think it's gonna be a great summer. Well, not a great, a good summer for games. Okay, um, because there's some titles, at least personally myself, that I cannot wait to play. Man, I'm telling you. Finally, we got the game that I've been waiting on for so goddamn long, for years, since 2017, which is Biomutant, and then you have A Little Devil Inside, which is definitely going to be another RPG. These are both, these are like AA games. Okay, these aren't AAA games. If you don't know any of these games, Google both of them. Especially Google both of them. They're excellent games. I think you guys will get a kick out of playing any one of them. Look into those. But those come out this summer. One's in May and one's in June. And I cannot wait to play those. And then we have anime coming. There's so many that I have marked down on my list that I can't see right now, but there's a lot of stuff coming. And then hopefully this summer we get the announcements of all of the fucking, I guess, what am I trying to say? The announcement of the new games, or the games that are slated to come out in 2021 for the PlayStation 5. Hopefully we get some news there, because summer is usually when we get that information on games that are supposedly supposed to be released this year. I don't know that 110%, but usually if we don't hear anything by the summer, then that's a safe bet. We probably won't get these releases this year, man, unless they're really holding on to something so tight. But with how easily stuff gets out to the media now and gets leaked or whatever, I don't see that happening. I honestly don't. So I'm hoping that I hear from Final Fantasy 16, God of War Ragnarok, and there's another one. What's the other one? The other game? Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. I hope we hear about those three games and find out what the deal is on that. I would love to know if we're going to really get that in 2021 or not. But I won't be mad if they postpone it, because if they're only doing that to make the shit 110% right, you know what I'm saying? And that's it. I also want to brush up against something else, but I'll get into that in Two Shakes of a Lamb's Tail. But I'll wrap it up by saying that it's going to be a great summer, I think, for a lot of things. Even if some of these games fall short, I think we're going to have a pretty decent summer. That's just me. Also, well, that's tied up. But Cyberpunk has been kind of quiet. Cyberpunk has been a little bit quiet. Nobody has really been talking about it until recently, when there has another update that just released. I think it's like 40 something gigs or something to download, something crazy. And I always wondered, when they do the updates, if we had to, they have to do it this way. They had to say you have an update, a previous update, and it was 30 gigs, right? And then a month later they put out another update, and this one's 40. It's safe to assume that they're going to cancel out the 30 that you have on your hard drive and just add that 40. I'd have to believe that, because if it wasn't the case, as many updates as Cyberpunk 2077 has already had, your space, you would have no space on your game system. There's been so many fucking huge updates, and if it stacked on top of each other, then we wouldn't have any fucking room. You know what I mean? So I have to assume that that's what it is, because I have a lot of games on my hard drive, and they wouldn't survive that space. So apparently, I looked into the review of the new update, and it still isn't, not even close to what was promised. And it just brings me back to this, man. And I'll walk away from this shit, man. It just, somebody really had a shit ton of butter waiting to be unloaded to all these stores, all of these convenience stores, all the Walmarts, everywhere available. And behind that freight was another huge donkey dick size of a freight, which included sake. And they were ready to dump all of this. Now, keep in mind, the devs weren't trying to make this happen. The devs were trying to slow it down, let us finish it, let's get it done right. But no, the powers that be They were not trying to have that. Okay. This game was nowhere near ready to be released, man, when they put this shit out. The pressure was fucking on. I felt like I was cooked or cooking in a fucking pressure cooker. I'm sure if I felt that way, God only knows how these devs and everybody else felt in here. And that's the problem you have when you make promises and how shit trickles down. You have to keep investors so quote unquote happy, and you end up hurting your own product in the process because you think people are going to be disappointed or they're putting pressure on you. They're hurting yourself. I mean, the shareholders are they have stock in your company because they had faith in your company that you were a solid company from the beginning, right? Because they trusted that you made decisions to put yourself in a position to really thrive out here. And that's why they invested in you. But you should have kept it 110% gangster with them when they, or if they ever tried to put any pressure on you. You should have just kept it gangster and said, look, we got this. Let us do our thing. If we got to postpone it, we just got to do it. And you just got to sit on it. Okay. I promise you, when the end comes, you will definitely reap the benefits. They could have just waited. People would have still bought the game. A lot of people may have been salty, but they would have gotten over it if the product was ready. Instead of this dumpster fire that we got now, as my son would call it, dog water. And what we have now is that. It's a bunch of fucking dog water, old, used up dog water. And they're telling everybody that it's, that it's your favorite drinking beverage. Close your eyes and just imagine. No, the taste buds will not lie. The butter's on the table. I see it, the label right there staring at me. As clear as I am looking into this fucking camera right now. It's ridiculous. And now you see what happens. This is a major company. CD Projekt Red is a major fucking company. And now you see what they look like now. They're forever tarnished for this. And I will definitely understand if the other guys who are supposed to be putting games out this year want to hold off on it. Will I be salty? Of course, because I wanted it in 2021. I wanted this. We all as gamers want our shit ASAP, but if we don't get it, I understand why. You know what I mean? As long as it's good when I get it, like the first God of War was a fucking masterpiece. God damn it. That shit right there, that's what we want. Okay? Don't compromise that, please. I don't care how long it takes. Just don't compromise it. All right? I may bitch and moan about it too. Trust me. I've been known to bitch and moan on this show a lot about releases and all these things. But if the game ain't done right, don't put the shit out, man. Okay? Anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about a boxing game that I've talked about before. I'm a huge boxing fan, if you guys don't know. I said it one more time. And especially boxing games. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is still one of my favorite all time. Love that game. It will never get old in my book. That whole franchise is fucking diamond. Okay. Love the EA Sports games, man. Hate as much as I hate EA. They used to be a dope company. They used to make dope shit, and they used to make boxing games, but now they don't. But now we got eSports Boxing Club, guys, and it's a game that is going to be a paid service of a boxing game. It's going to be a game that's going to just go on and on. It's not going to be a annual game like your typical sports games to suck the life out of your fucking wallet over and over again, only to fucking just copy and paste shit that they've been doing previous years. Okay? They're going to give you one game and they're going to update it continuously. And that is what I would like to see in this game. And the devs and some of the creators have had an interview not too long ago, and they were asked some questions I really wanted answers to, and some of them really surprised me in a good way. And I sensed that some of it went down like this, but yeah, man. They basically wanted to find out the reason that, if you're curious out there wondering why EA didn't do another boxing game, it's because of politics. It's all about politics. It's always been about politics for the most part, for most companies. It's always about that bottom dollar. And a lot of the time when you think about that bottom dollar, you end up making a cookie cutter product and nothing that's ever going to stand out, nothing that's ever going to be remembered, and never be a classic. You got to be willing to put yourself out there and really stick to what you believe in a lot of the time, especially when you're developing games and you're doing these things, even writing a movie or whatever the fuck, or making an anime. It's just what it is, you know. No matter what people say, you just got to keep going. And EA basically saw no real money involved because boxing is a tricky sport. It's not like the NFL. It's not like the NBA. They're not entities as a whole. They're not, you know, everybody under one roof. Everybody is their own entity. Okay. So one boxer is a company that you have to negotiate with, and it goes on like that for every other boxer. You have managers, you have agents who are trying to get paid, trying to do this, trying to do that. So, trying to do that for all the boxers you were trying to get on here, and then word gets out, so and so got paid this, well, so and so got paid that, I want what he's got, or I want more, I think I'm better. And this is what you end up with, and then you end up with losing money. Now with NFL or NBA, for instance, or example, or even fucking even UFC, those are all under one entity. So if you sign with UFC, if they make a deal, say EA makes a deal with UFC, then everybody under that UFC label is a part of that, because that's one brand. They don't have to worry about going to each individual guy or girl to do that. Same thing with NBA, same thing with NFL. The boxing is completely different, and that's why it's so hard to fucking continue to do that. But thankfully, with what's going on in the world now and how everybody is in that kind of I'm my own entity type of thing, that's where we're at now. Everybody has their own channels, everybody has their own handles, everybody has their own things, and they're individualized now. So you can, I mean, even myself, I'm very individualized. I have my own website, I have my own fucking YouTube channel, I have my own merch, I have my own things, Instagram. You know, you can look me up and you can find me easily online, and you can find out what I'm about, because I associate myself with certain things, which is what I'm talking about now. That is the things that I associate myself with, you know, nerd culture, particularly anime and video games. Those are my main things, you know. But everybody's doing this now, so you have to get on that board. You have to change with the system. And what these guys have done is they went out individually to each boxer and basically said, we have a certain structure that how we run this and how we sign boxers. And they said they can't really tell us who's signed, but they said basically they're going to have 95% of everybody that you want in this game in here. And how it works is they're doing a royalty system, which I thought was dope. A royalty system is this. For instance, they mentioned a guy that they cannot name, they choose not to name, because they claim that, which is true, this is true, a lot of boxers, and athletes period, you know, have fame and have fortune, but they end up fucking it off. Let's just keep it real with each other. Drugs, whatever the fuck, women, whatever it is that they ended up doing, family leeches, all of that stuff comes with the territory when you get money and all that. And a lot of athletes and stuff tend to fall into that trap. They lose it, and they end up broke. Okay, so this is a way to monopolize some money in the situation, to better their families or better themselves and get them out of that hole. For a lot of these guys, you know what I mean? He basically said that there's a guy who's deceased. He can't name the guy, but his family was hurting, you know, because he died broke. Basically, he you know, and they reached out to his family and basically said, look, here's how we're going to do this. We're charging $5 per boxer. Okay, so each boxer we create, there's going to be a handful of boxers already, like more than a handful. I'm sorry. It's going to be like a gang, like 40 to 50 boxers, I think, available day one when the game drops. But there's going to be future updates, new boxers coming all the time. And if you want to buy them, they're going to be $5 a pop, right? So how it works is they go to the boxers, or they go to their families, and they say, we're going to charge $5 a pop, but you get a royalty off of that. So every one we sell, you know, you may get, I don't know, 50 cents to $1 or some shit like that per time, every time somebody downloads your shit. So if you get, you know, if you get 50,000 downloads, I mean, that's some pretty dope money. Okay, that's pretty good bread. I mean, and then it's over time, so it's just residual income. You know what I mean? You just trickling in there, you know. And especially if you're known out here and you don't sign, or you get put on the DLC list, I mean, you're gonna make some pretty hefty coin, you know. And so there's a lot of dope boxers out here. So there's two places that they basically do the body scans, one in the US and one in the UK, from what I understand. And, you know, it's a tedious process. It usually takes about, I think they mentioned, I want to say maybe a few weeks per scan to get everything done and situations, to get the situation lined up and everything properly. So I think it's a dope system because that means that anybody can sign and they can go do the scan and they can do all that and register themselves as just, hey, this residual income. This is just one way to do it. And I think they should do this going forward with situations like this, because that's how you can make bread. I mean, you could sign with more than one person. Oh, well, I want you to sign with me and nobody else. I mean, that is kind of, I don't like that. But this is cool because it opens the floodgates for anybody you want. I mean, Butterbean. I mean, whoever you want. And you also have the ability to create your own characters as well. You start out with, of course, 0-0 record, and you can take them into the ranks and, make a name, carve a name out for yourself, man. I think this is going to be dope. I can't wait. And it's supposed to be early access coming on PC this summer. So definitely going to be looking forward to that. And then later on in the year, we're supposed to be getting it either in, I think 2022 is when we're getting it. Early 2022, man, is when we're going to get it, or late 2021 that we're going to get it for console. So, yeah, I think if last time I checked, I remember it being on PS4, I want to say Xbox One, and PC starting out. And then eventually it will come for the other consoles too. So, don't mark me on that. I've actually covered this some months ago. And I can't remember the dates, man. I cover so much shit. It's amazing what I can retain sometimes. But the most important thing is that this game is on the way. I cannot wait. Finally, a new game since 2011, which was the last game that came out. Okay, which was Fight Night Champion, the real boxing game, which I still love, which I still have, which I still play on the PS3. But, I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for them to update this stuff, man. And I think this is going to be cool playing online and playing. I can't wait. I'm very excited. So just wanted to share that information with you guys. If you're wondering about this game, yeah, it's going to be dope. Okay. Now, the next lecture at hand, I want to talk about, let's talk about the anime that I watched, because I didn't watch Attack on Titan. And you're probably wondering, why the fuck didn't you watch Attack on Titan? It's done now. It's ready for you, and you went to something else. There's only one reason I would do that. There's only one fucking reason I would do that. And Hulu gave me that reason to do that, which is kind of, I wonder why they're doing this. But there's anime, and it's called How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. Okay. And I'm currently watching that one now. I'm almost done. I think I'm like 9 episodes in on a 12 episode anime. And it was just something I slipped on, man. I said, you know what? Let me watch this. I actually put it on while I was cooking something, because I just wanted to put something on and watch it. I didn't know if it was going to catch me or not. And I assumed that it wasn't. But it was one of the many ones in my pile of anime. And I chose it. And next thing I know, man, I almost burnt up my shit. I couldn't stop watching it. I found out later, basically it looked like a harem anime on the cover, but it is definitely a harem anime. And I fucking love this anime. Definitely has its own charm or whatever. I'm sure some of you listening have heard about this anime, but the reason why I started watching it and decided to finish it is because it's gonna be taken off of Hulu in like literally a few more days. I was like, it's leaving soon, and I was like, what? At least it's cool that they show you and tell you, that they give you a heads up on what's going to be gone, what's going to be leaving. And that was the only thing. I went to my little tab and said, what's leaving soon? And that was the only fucking thing there. Now, why would they move this one? It is mature. It is, a little risque. Not that bad though. Not that bad, but it's definitely a dope anime. It's definitely worth watching. It's definitely a harem anime, and it's got some dope action scenes in there too, man. Some dope animation stuff. So I highly recommend this one. If you, by the time of this podcast, you will literally have maybe 2 to 3 days to watch this, maybe 4 days tops. So I would definitely go ahead and get that one done. You can probably get it all done in about 4 hours sitting. Yeah. 4.5 hours, you can get it all done. So you can get, if you wanted to binge it, you could get it done in a couple of days. Or, sometimes like me, I'll sit there and binge a whole anime in one day. If it's 12 episodes, I can do that. But definitely worth your time. If you have the time to get this one done, definitely do that. I recommend this one for sure. How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, man. And it's about, let me give you a quick breakdown of it real quick. It's about a guy who, as a, as a boy, he was teased a lot. People made fun of him and stuff like that for whatever reason. Because he would give the kids a lot of things, a lot of his friends, or he thought they were his friends, and then behind their back he talk and say, "Yo, we really don't like him, but we're using him because he's giving us these things." So it was hard for him to make friends in the real world. And then he was a gamer, and he was a hardcore gamer on the game, on this RPG, and his character was basically demon status, demon lord status, and he ended up in this universe with extremely potent powers and abilities, and he's around people who can't basically aren't up to par, not on his level, and he's trying to how can I say this? Just watch the anime. Just watch. It's good. It's good. I don't want to say too much without kind of like letting everything out of the bag. It's good. Just check it out. You only have a few more days. I don't know if it's on Crunchyroll or anything. I think it is. I remember seeing it, but I don't know, guys. I don't know why they were moving it from there. I'm definitely going to check on that later and find out why that is. It's for no reason, but I'm going to have it done. But still, I want to know. I'm curious to that. Maybe it's going to another outlet or something. Who knows? But definitely check this one out. How not to summon a demon lord. And that's it on anime. That's it. That's what I've got done. And a week's time is way more than enough time for me to get done with anime, guys. It's just the reason why I didn't do that is because of the last subject, the last thing I want to talk about on this episode, and that's because of fucking Monster Hunter Rise. Blame Monster Hunter Rise for this shit. All right? Because that game is digital crack. It's potentially game of the year. If none of these other games come out this year, which I don't think that they will, but if none of these other games come out for the PS5, this one right now is my lead for game of the year. I'm already 60 plus hours in. Okay, I have been doing nothing but playing this. That's pretty much been my whole fucking week. That's it. I've been playing this game. I've been playing this about, if you balance that out over the next, I've been playing this shit for about easily, 10, damn near 10 hours a day. Say about 9 hours a day. You can round that up. That's a lot of fucking time. 60 hours, 60 plus hours, like 62 hours or some shit like that. Yeah, man. That's saying something. That's saying that they did so. I don't think I can ever go back to another Monster Hunter game. What's crazy is my son is literally playing Monster Hunter World right now as well. He's playing it on the Xbox, and I was like, yo, you know what? I think I'll jump back into Monster. I think I'll jump into Monster Hunter World now, but I don't know now if I can do that because of that fucking grappling system that they have now. Okay, I forgot the damn name. I can't believe I don't know the name. It's something with a bug something. Okay, but basically it's like a grappling hook, and they incorporated it into the move sets of the weapons and some of the things you can allow. I mean, everything is sick. It's fucking so sick, and I love it to death, man. I love it. And I remember the last time I talked to you guys when I first started playing, my first 10 hours in or so, I was leaning towards the gun builds, the light bow gun. Then I tried a little bit of the heavy bow gun, which packs a punch, but it's too fucking slow. And you got to really know how to maneuver with these monsters, man, because they fucking smack. They smack the shit out of you. And if you get caught with a stun animation, you're done and you can't get out of the way. That's it. A two-piece dark with a medium coke, you're done. Okay. But I was doing some research between different builds, trying to find. I felt lost for a large portion of the game because, I was kind of shook. The monsters had me shook. What I mean is by that is they had me like, I didn't want to fight them up close. I didn't want to be all in their face. A lot of these fuckers are intimidating, man. I'm just keeping it real, especially if I haven't played a Monster Hunter game in a long time. It's really dope though. But I decided to say, you know what? Let me try another weapon. I always loved the shield. I always loved some sort of shield incorporated into my build. No matter what game I was playing, if I had an opportunity to have a shield, I was all for it. Another Capcom game that did that really well was Dragon's Dogma. And I cannot wait for the second Dragon's Dogma, guys. That's another game that's coming. It's set way, way in the future, but I will be so happy when that game drops. But anyway, back to Monster Hunter Rise. The weapon I ended up with and falling in love with, and this is my main weapon now, is the fucking sword and shield, man. And I remember a guy, I forgot his name, a YouTuber who was a big Sword and Shield guy, and he was talking about it, and he was basically so excited like a little kid in a fucking candy store, and he was talking about it and why he loved it so much and what made it so good in this game. And he's telling the truth, man. It's just a straight up. I love being in monsters' faces. I love getting up in there. I'm not scared anymore. I feel like I have power. I have a purpose, and I'm doing lots of fucking damage to these guys, man. I'm chopping off tails now. Like, man, there's even a perk you can get on your armor that allows you to, that intensifies the chances of removing tails and limbs and shit like that. Which is fucking dope. I just love the build now. I fell in love with it. I've been playing with it now for maybe about 20 hours of my time. So I was with the gun for a long time, the light bow gun. I really thought that was going to be my gun. And I started looking at some in-game guns, and they fucking slap. They do. And maybe I still spec into one of those weapons, and I'll have one for different situations and stuff like that, because I actually had to change up. I was just curious. I went, I beat the Magnum, how do you pronounce his name? Magla, the in-game monster, basically, on Monster Hunter Rise. Okay, I beat him my first time I went out there and I beat him with the sword and shield, and I was surprised, and that's when I fell in love with the weapon. But then I fought him again because I was trying to farm shit, and I ended up taking L. He fucked me up, and I couldn't get in. I couldn't understand why, but it's just an off day, and I went and said, let me change my weapons. He's weak to water. I had guns with water ammo, so I went out there with that, and then I got the job done. I killed him again, and I got enough stuff from him to get the weapon off of him. I had some materials, but I needed more to make the sword and shield that he gave me, which I fucking love, which is my first, one of my first rare weapons, more rare weapon. I love it though because it's got like explosive chance on there. It's really dope, man. I love the game. That there's so many builds you can make for different scenarios and situations, and that's really what you're doing. You're just hunting, trying to get the supplies you need to get to certain weapons and make the build you need for the next fucking hunt that you have. These villains, these guys that are out here, you got to be ready, man, for them. You know what I mean? You can't go out there in your gear because it's just your favorite gear all the time, because you're going to end up, lacking. You're going to end up, some of these motherfuckers are wet. And if you guys don't know what that is, so to the newcomers, it means amazing or highly skilled. WETT. It's a term I came up with, guys. I use it sometimes on the show. But yes, some of these monsters are extremely fucking wet. All right. And I feel like now I am there. I am fucking drenched now. I feel like now that I'm still learning this weapon, because there's so many nuances to all the weapons, the ins and outs, the secrets, the little stuff that I still discovering. I was discovering right before I stopped playing this morning. And certain things, if you hold the button down longer after a combo, if you hit these buttons after this combo, you activate these things, and these are other things you can do. But then you can segue into that same move that you like by rolling into the monster and then tapping and then holding down the button. It's just all these things that the game doesn't really tell you. I found all this stuff out on YouTube, man, and I'm still confident there's more to learn. But the basics of this build of this weapon is what I fell in love with, and I've been abusing the fuck out of it. And that's my playstyle now. I'm in love with that playstyle. Excuse me. I invite any and all monsters who want to smoke. They can get it. And I'm loving the game, guys. I'll probably put 150 hours on this easy, no fucking problem. And this is a game that came out of left field. I was playing Ni no Kuni 2. I was playing Final Fantasy 7 Remake at the time. And those games are sitting on the fucking back burner. Why? Because I want to play Monster Hunter way more than I want to play those games right now. I enjoy that fucking gameplay loop so fucking much. It's always like, it's like you never run out of shit to want. You always, as a race of humans, sometimes we're never satisfied. We get that one thing we've been trying to get so long. We finally attain it. Then it's kind of like, okay, now what's next? You know what I mean? Like me and my fucking toys, my figures, right? Excuse me again. I'm sorry. I have so many. And it feels like the one that I really wanted that I finally got. No, a few weeks will pass and I'll see something else and I'll say, oh my God, I got to have that. Same thing with games. Same thing with anime. You know what I mean? It's just depending on what you choose for that. And that is the art. That is the beauty of this game. Going out, seeing something you want, and just getting it. Some of the stuff that looks sick on you, like, man, this shit looks so nice. I gotta have it. And you want to, go get the parts for it. It's so cool, man. And then the online play, that's just another added piece. I would love this game the same if it was just single player only, no online, whatever. But the online brings that extra oomph to it, And excuse my voice, guys. I have a frog in my damn throat, and it happens sometimes during the podcast, and I cannot stand it, but it's a thing. So just bear with me, please. Anyway, I'm just having an amazing time with this game, and everybody who has a Nintendo Switch and is looking for something, an RPG that is fun and that is just got so much charm to it, because that's exactly what this game has, then this is the game for you. I love the charm. There's so much charm in there, from music. Even when I beat the game, the music that played at the end, I mean, it was nice, man. Everything about it, man. That Japanese culture, which I love so much. All the customization, which more is coming. On DLC, we got a lot of DLC you can get now. Most of it's cosmetic, but a lot of it's really cool. I haven't bought any of it yet, but I am definitely gonna, partake in some of that. One of them is actually a skin for your, not your palico, which is the cat, but the I forgot what your dog is called, your horse, dog, whatever you want to call it, which has not been in another Monster Hunter game, by the way, which makes another thing that makes this game so awesome, which I don't think I can go back, because trying to move around, it just makes moving around the world so much easier, man. And even fighting, like, that is just some of the awesomest things ever. And you can customize both of them now, not just your palico, but hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but him as well. So all the armor, weapons, what they use, and then you also want to mix it up too, because there's other ones you can add to your team and you can take out with you and build up, and for different situations. You know what I mean? You might have one that specializes in healing, but then you have one that specializes in actually attacking and doing damage. So you can just experiment and take different ones out. I haven't done that yet. I've been rocking with my same squad so far, and I think I'm going to start to do that, but I got to get their levels up, because you can actually have them train and do things and build their levels up too. So you want to give yourself some choices. It's all about that end game. You know what I mean? Getting your builds, getting the things that you want, and then going out there and having fun and destroying monsters, man. I love it. And I love the fact that when you kill a monster, you get a part of them, and you can, you wear it as a badge in a sense too. So when people see you out there, they've known, oh, I see you got this so-and-so. Oh, you killed him. You got him done, huh? You took him out the game. You see what people have done. You see their adventures that they've been on, and the stuff that they've achieved along the way. I just think that is so epic about this game, and it shows in this game, man. It's so addictive. It's so fucking good. And I highly, highly recommend this fucking game to anybody who has a Switch. A friend of mine is really mad right now. He's salty as fuck because he doesn't have a Switch. He's a big Monster Hunter guy. He's actually playing Monster Hunter World now. He's already beaten everything on Monster Hunter World. But he's mad because he's like, man, I have to buy a Switch for this. And I have to say this, from what I've seen on the other Monster Hunter games up until this point, I mean, this is something brand new. This is on another plateau. I think they need to move forward with the mechanics and the way Monster Hunter Rise is moving forward. I don't think I can play another Monster Hunter game after playing this. I just honestly don't. This is the best Monster Hunter game that I've played, and I haven't played them since like the PSP games, and those were good then, but they've come so far. I mean, they cut out a lot of the slice of life episodes, so to speak, and put in all the stuff that's necessary. And even with that done, there's still so much to fucking eat on that plate. There's so much to get into. There's so many things that I have not even got into yet that I'm still trying to figure out. Even all of the things that you can make and what they do for you, and all the things you might need on some of these quests that you need to take out on these hunts, these boosters and stuff that you might need, defense up, attack up, and all of these stuff. And then your talismans, how the talismans work, where you're out here farming talismans. So you take monsters and you kill them and you get parts, and you take those parts and you give them to the store, and they put them on this slow cooker, so to speak, for you, and you go on another mission before you can activate. And you can do 3 at a time from where I'm at now, but you can only get 1 at a time. I think that's how it goes. But anyway, you tell the guy what you're trying to produce, what talisman you're trying to produce. You get like one level 1 to level 3, and you want that level 3 if you can, because level 3 is like the most potent or whatever. So if you want poison resistance medallion or whatever, or talisman, you want that. You want all of the lightning. You want all of the elements, so that if you're going up against a certain somebody, you can put that talisman on. It would help you. And if you had the gear with it, a little bit of something else to go with it, then it would put you over. So you wouldn't have to worry. So there's all kind of ways you can customize the way you want to be, your build. You want your build to be. And to do this, of course, you need those monster parts. But the higher grade monster parts, some of the harder monsters, of course, they give you more points, and they give you a better chance to get that rank 3, that level 3 that you were really looking for. So it's just a bunch of trial and error. And you're going to be doing a lot of killing monsters anyway, so you might as well take and collecting all these parts. You might as well put them to use, and this is one of those ways. And I really, really dig that about the game, and it's just so much more to it. But I just love being in the world, the hub. It's beautiful, man. I cannot wait for the DLC already. I'm gonna go and kind of research some of this other downloadable stuff, because I will be purchasing it, and I am still gonna try to pick me up a physical copy of this game. I wasn't able to get physical, but I do want a physical copy of this game. This is definitely now my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch, and it's, well, I'm not gonna say, well, yes, I'm gonna say favorite. Fuck it. The one reigning champion was, if you guys don't know, Daemon X Machina. There were some runner-ups. Breath of the Wild was in there, and then there was Astral Chain, which is another one, which is a fucking awesome game. Those were like runner-ups, but Daemon X Machina is basically like a Monster Hunter game, but with mechs. Not as in depth as far as all the stuff you have to collect and get and buy, but it's still pretty. The learning curve is pretty steep, and you can do a lot with it. But those are my 2 games, and like I said, I put in like over 100 hours on Daemon X Machina. I think I did like 120 hours on that. So yeah, I'm looking like easily gonna do that for Monster Hunter. And then when the DLC and stuff comes, and then there's still the online stuff to partake in, and I'm happy, man. I am so happy, and I can't wait to play it. So I'm going to wrap up this podcast now, guys. Okay, I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank all the newcomers if you're new to the podcast or the show on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for lending me your ear, eyes, and I hope to see you again next week. We do this every Monday, same bad time, same bad channel. Once again, guys, if you want to get into anything Studio MacGyver, if you want to support this show, show your love and support, you can easily do that by going to studiomacgyver.com, and you can get all and everything Studio MacGyver there, baby. Okay, check out some of that merch, the warm butter merch, the wet merch. What else, man? It's hard out here in these digital streets. I got merch that, just check it out, and I will be adding more as time progresses. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for downloading, man. It means the world to me, guys. Doing this for 5 years strong. Love it. Love you guys. This is Studio MacGyver, and you've been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.